Grace Sachidananda Vigraha Prabhu, I would request.
So, quick introduction. Bhakta Parikit Maharaj, yes. So, I would just like to give quick introduction about His Grace Sachidananda Vigraha Prabhuji. So, Sachidananda Vigraha Prabhuji has completed M.Tech in electrical engineering from IIT Kanpur. So, he has been practicing Krishna consciousness for more than 15 years. So he has served full time in Bhakti Vedanta Gurukul Vrindavan and ISKCON Dehradun for 3 years in different capacities there. So he is currently working at Synaptics, Bangalore. Previously he worked in MNC like Qualcomm, Marvel, etc. So he is currently serving as a circle servant at IBC ACS under ISKCON. So Whitefield, Bangalore. So he was one of the active mentor under the Learn Gita, Live Gita initiative. He also takes regular Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam sessions in different forms, both online and offline. So thank you very much for coming here, giving your associations to us here. So thank you very much.
No, nothing to project. Nothing. Hare Krishna. Is it not echoing? I feel echo. Is it fine? Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vrajasamandana Yashodanandana Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की, ग्रंथरा श्रीमद् भागवतम की, समवेद गौरवत्तम की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirahe Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. So we'll also offer prayers to our short prayers. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Vena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Vena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamanya Gadati Swapadantikam Namaham Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavari Pachatya Deshatari Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Vasadi Gaura Bhaktara Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, welcome everyone for the Sunday Fish and Bhagavatam session.
Hare Krishna. Request is there that if you can please speak in English and Hindi both. So today we will not have separate class of Hindi because of weather conditions. So outside it's all there. So probably we will only continue in English and Hindi both. Thank you.
आप में से कितने भक्तों को अंग्रेजी नहीं आते? हाथ उठाइए। अंग्रेजी एक, बस एक। Everyone understands English, right? Okay, बीच में हिंदी में भी बोल रहा है। ये अनएक्सपेक्टेड चैलेंज मुझे दे दिया है, बट फिर भी मैं कोशिश करता हूँ। हम दक्षिण भारत से है ना, हिंदी इतना अच्छा से नहीं जानते, बट फिर भी हम प्रयास करेंगे। अगर कुछ गलती होगा तो जरूर मुझे माफ कर दीजिए। हाँ, but generally the emotions of explanation in Krishna consciousness will be naturally flowing in English. So, but there will be some difficulty in expressing the same in Hindi. So, anyhow, thank you for giving this opportunity. Seek all your blessings and prayers for blessing me to render this service, to please His Divine Grace and all the assembled devotees here. So, yeah, I'm very happy to be here among all of you today. I hope everyone is able to hear clearly. I feel some echo is there, it's fine. So, there's a one verse actually. Iha yasya hare dasya karmana manasa gira nikila swapi avasthasu jivan muktasa uchate. Iha yasya hare dasya. So, anyone, iha yasya hare dasya. So, in this material world, if anyone's desire is to become the servant of the Lord, but service means what is that? There is service means not only imaginary thing. Service means there is some practical action. Prabhupada used to say they do something for Krishna. So Madhvacharya says that what is that? Devotee means what? Madhvacharya says Hari Karya Sadhaka. Devotee means one who works for the mission of the Lordship. So Iha Yasya Hare Dasa Karmana Manasa Gira. But how one should serve? This service means Prabhupada used to say do some practical action. That's why in all the temples across the world, there are so many festivals, there are so many activities. 24 hours is also not sufficient to perform Krishna consciousness. But how to render the service? But karmana manasa gira, with body, with mind, with speech. So that's why we also wear 3 rounds of Kantimala to remind ourselves every day. For what reason? To render service to the Lord with karmana, manasa, gira. You know, we also have three dandas and also three dandi. Same thing. We also perform circumambulation of Tulsi minimum 3 times. To one of the reason is we want to reiterate ourselves that I want to serve the Lord with my mind, speech, and manasa, karmana, manasa, gira, with body, mind, and speech. So if anyone can do like that, अगर कोई जीवन में भगवान को सेवा अपने शरीर के साथ, अपने मन के साथ, अपने वाणी के साथ करेंगे तो क्या है? निखिला स्वपि अवस्थासु जीवन मुक्त से उच्चते. He is liberated even in this material world. उसको बोलते हैं मुक्त. भौतिक जगत में रहते हुए भी वो मुक्त है. So he is liberated even in this material world. So I am very grateful to all of you for giving me this an opportunity to use my speech, my body, my mind also in the service of the Lord. Because in this service, obviously I have to speak, but body is also involved and mind. I have to plan. Mind, how can we engage? By remembering Krishna and by planning to serve Krishna. So this is a great opportunity. Thank you once again. So that means you have given me opportunity for me to be liberated while staying in this material world. So since today's topic is the birth of Parikit Maharaj. So in Bhagavad Gita, if you see that this verse comes, Janma Karma Chame Divya Evam Yo Veti Tattvataha Tyaktva Deham Punarjanma Naiti Mameti. So Arjuna, anyone who understand Janma Karma, what is that? Birth, activities of the Lord, how they are Chame Divyam, they are Divyam, transcendental. Evam Yo Veti Tattvataha. If one understands them in truth, what will happen? Taktva deham punarjanma naiti mameti. So Arjuna, when we leave this body, what will happen? If we understand them in truth, we will not come back again to this material world. अगर हम भगवान का जन्म और कार्य को अगर समझेंगे, जब शरीर छोड़ेंगे, दोबारा वापस इधर आने का जरूरत नहीं. But the same thing is also applicable to the Lord's devotees. The Lord's, just like the Lord's activities birth the transcendental, similarly the devotees of the Lordships, their birth, their activities are also transcendental. Actually, it is more glorious to discuss. Actually, Krishna likes his devotees to be glorified more than his glorification. So that's why it's very interesting that today's topic is also about Parikit Maharaj, another wonderful opportunity to glorify a pure devotee of the Lord. Krishna feels very happy when his devotees are glorified. अगर भगवान को ये पसंद है, अगर उनको भक्तों के बारे में अगर गुणगान होगा तो भगवान उसको बहुत पसंद करते हैं. That's why we say in Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare in the beginning. As soon as Krishna hears the word Hare, what will happen? He will be in ecstasy, remembering Radharani. Because we say, right, Krishna hears. Abhinatva Namanamino. Krishna hears. But as soon as Krishna hears the name of Radharani, what will happen? He goes into ecstasy. Rathayatra is coming. So Jagannath, who is Jagannath? Actually, is Krishna feeling separation from Radharani. So as soon as he heard the word Hare, he will be in ecstasy. So in one sense, actually, Hare Krishna Mahamantra gives pleasure to Radha and Krishna. Right? If anyone, our Premdata Prabhu is there. Thousands of devotees is there. Premdata Prabhu. As soon as we recite, he will go. If there is another Premdata Murari Prabhu is also there, but he will only see, oh, who is that calling me? So similarly, Krishna's attention will also be that. So similarly in the Mangalarti also, what do we do? Actually, this is a very interesting thing which happens in our ISKCON temples. In the Mangalarti, worship of Krishna happens, but glorification of Guru happens. What is this? It is a crazy thing. No, it's not a crazy thing. Krishna likes the glories of his devotees more than his glories. That's why when Krishna comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, He glorified all the devotees. He served his devotees. So that's why it's a wonderful thing. That's why we also sing in everyday in Guru Puja, Ebejas Gusuk Tribhuvan. We want the glories of our spiritual master to be spread far and wide. You know, that is how this is a contradictory thing from the material world. In the material world, what happens? Everyone wants to be everyone everyone wants everyone else to glorify them. That's why Hiranyakashipu, when he was ruling, what he wanted, he said that everyone should chant Om Namo Bhagavate Hiranyakashipu Namaha. Everyone is chanting, even Indra, Chandra, Varun, all the demigods, except one person. Who is that? Prahlad, the hero of our Bhagavatam, is our hero. So he chanted the names of Lord Krishna. Everyone was chanting the names of Hiranyakashipu. So in this material world, everyone wants him to be glorified. That's how we have a resume also to show our glories. And that's why in Gaudiya, in our parampara, it's an awkward thing to tell about oneself. That's why when Ashwatthama's point of killing came, Arjuna on one side, uh, Bhima, Draupadi, Arjuna is in confusion. Bhima on one side, Draupadi on one side. Everyone two categories, whether to kill or not to kill. So that's why they have, for a Brahmana, that they have done. So at that point comes the self glorification is a death. The glorification of oneself is equal to death. We don't want to glorify. Even Krishna doesn't want to glorify himself. Of course, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna went to that extent that Matta Parataram Nanya. But someone will ask question, how arrogant Krishna is, how Krishna is like that. But that's on one angle. If Krishna doesn't tell about himself, how can we understand? But on the other side, in all the other incarnations, when Krishna comes, he doesn't glorify himself. He wants his devotees to be glorified. So that's why it's a wonderful opportunity to discuss the glories of Parikit Maharaj. Actually, when we discuss like this, what will happen? Our propensity of being glorified in this material world comes down. Is it not that even while practicing Krishna consciousness, we want our name to be glorified? It's a natural tendency. It won't go out just like that. It won't go out just like that. Everyone has to go through that phase of, that's why we have the subtle anarthas are there. You know? So everyone has to go through that phase. But if we actually focus on glorifying Krishna and his devotees, slowly, slowly, what will happen? Then our natural propensity to glorify ourselves will come down. This is a very nice thing that can happen in Krishna consciousness. By just glorifying Krishna and other devotees, pure devotees of the Lord, what will happen? Our tendency to glorify ourselves, to project ourselves, I am the boss, I am so great, that will go away. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Nadapi Sunichena. So this is an opportunity when we are hearing the glories of the Lord and his devotees, glorify them, naturally we'll become humble. How great they are. I am projecting myself as a great devotee, but where I am. So this comparison will help us to remain on grounded, being humble. Of course, for me, it's an opportunity not to glorify pure devotee, because just by glorifying the pure devotee, will become purified. So, so that's why today's topic is very, very special. So, interesting thing is, until this chapter, what happened? This first canto is very, very special. What is our goal of life? We are chanting, we are doing rendering devotional ceremonies, we are conducting festivals, we are doing everything. For what purpose? For what purpose? For one purpose. What is our goal of life? Prema Pumarto Maharadhya Bhagavan Rajeshu Tanaya Taddaha Vrindavanam Brahmakashitupasana Rajavatu Varge Nayatan Pita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanamamalam Prema Pumarto Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamitam Tatradharo Mahaparam. So this is a very beautiful prayer. What is the opinion of Lord Chaitanya? Our worshipable Lord is Krishna, our worshipable devotee is Golaka Vrindavan, our worshipable devotees are gopis, our goal of life is Krishna praying, and our scripture is Srimad Bhagavatam. This is a Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's opinion. So, until this chapter, what happened? Krishna's loving dealings with his devotees. Actually, we see in the so far the chapters, like some of them. So, what is meant by love of Krishna? Yes, obviously we say that love of Krishna means Ado Shraddha, Tato Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Nartha, Nivritti, Nishta, all such things we'll say, and then Prema. But what actually mean by loving Krishna is actually it's a reciprocatory thing, right? Love means it cannot be one unidirectional. Love means bidirectional. You know, mother loves the child, child loves the mother, mother serves the child, child serves the mother. So here we see that how Krishna loves his devotees, how devotees love Krishna. By understanding their loving reciprocation, the loving dealings, what will happen? Then we can also understand, yes, the sweetness of the Krishna, sweetness of Krishna. Then we can appreciate, oh, this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to bless us. You know, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is most magnanimous. Namo Mahavadanyaya. Anarpita charim chira karuna yavati nadana samarpitu unnato jalarasa sabhakti shriyam hari purata sundara duti sandarbha sadapita sandarbha like hari purata sundara duti kadamba sandarbha Sada Hrudaya Kandare Vaha Sachinandana. Anarpita Charim Chira. So far, no one has ever come to give this wonderful thing which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us. Only when we appreciate what he came to give us, then we feel committed to it, right? So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to give us, which is the most valuable thing, which no one else, even Krishna himself, did not deliver that. But Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the mode of Radharani because only Radharani can give that Krishna prema. This is the property of devotees. Krishna cannot give, only devotees can give that. So that's why Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to deliver that which no one has given. And this is also mentioned in here. So for 7 to 11 chapters, if you see that when Krishna, after staying in Hastinapura for quite long, the battlefield of Kurukshetra happened, but still the devotees, Pandavas in Hastinapur, they don't want Krishna to go to Dwaraka. And that's why two chapters comes. Leaving Hastinapura is there, entering into Dwaraka. Why? How devotees feel separation from the Lord. This is love. Only when someone loves, he will separate. He will feel the separation. Just now I mentioned our Aradhyas, gopis, they have exhibited this highest devotion of feelings of separation from Lord. It won't come out easily. It won't come easily. Vritrasura is praying. Nanaka prishtam nachaparamestam nasaro gopam narasadipatam na yoga siddhi ragunar brahma samanjasatva virahaya kanche. What do you need? Everyone wants a post in this material world. He's saying, Nanaka prishtam. I don't want anything in this material world. I want viraha, the feelings of separation from Lord Krishna, which is not an easy thing to obtain. You know? So that's why they are praying like that. So all the queens of Hastinapur, they nearly fainted when Krishna is about to leave. And what happened? They also they were getting tears from their eyes, but they forcibly stopped their tears. Why? Like now modern world we don't see such kind of thing, but at least I have seen in my previous age that when anyone goes out, family members come and they bid farewell, send them out. If they are very much attached, they start feeling separation and then cry, tears will come. But at the same time they don't want to shed tears. Why? Because if I shed tears, something misfortune can happen. This is crazy. What will happen to Krishna? So many asuras came to kill Krishna. Krishna effortlessly killed. What will happen to Krishna? What will happen to Krishna? But still, they are thinking, if I shed my tears, some misfortune may come to Krishna, and they don't want to cry, and they stop their tears so that no misfortune can happen to Krishna. Is it not love? This is called love of the devotees for Krishna. Already Sukadev Goswami has glorified this thing. So That's why, but now if Krishna's love is the goal of our life, and the description in Bhagavatam is what? The loving reciprocations between the devotees and Krishna. Vivatam Bhagavatam Rasamalayam. Relish the mellows of Krishna consciousness. So that Krishna had shown in his interaction with the devotees. What will happen if when we hear this thing? Because our goal is also to Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we have any other room for children? If there is any other room for children, we can take them. Okay. So when we hear of such reciprocations between Lord and his devotees, what will happen? We will also get inspired. Yes, I have also a relationship with Krishna. A day may come when Krishna will reciprocate with me. So that's how loving exchange is. So now, why this chapter suddenly came into this picture is basically to attain this love of Krishna is not an easy thing. Not an easy thing. Because it is a topmost gift of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Golokera Premadana, it won't be easy thing. So maybe Mataji. So I also have a 3-year-old daughter Subhadra. So it is very natural for the kids. They'll not be able to focus on this subject matter. So children's mind is like chanchala, it's a flickering, right? So definitely they need a similar engagement as per their own thing. So definitely it's a sacrifice for the mother. At least I always attend classes. Yeah, her mother gets penalized, but sometimes. So definitely it's a sacrifice. That's a Grahast ashram as a challenge of raising children in Krishna consciousness. But that sacrifice has a sweetness in it. Because when we do anything for Krishna, externally it may appear painful, but internally it is a very blissful. This is what gopis have shown. Externally they were crying, and they were almost thin, they were not eating anything, entire the residents of Vrindavan. But internally they were very ecstatic. Very ecstatic. This cannot be logically explained. Has to be experienced, and this is what we are trying to reach that platform of experiencing that. So even Ayodhya Vasis, they were also like that. So there's another episode where Shatrughna was like very nicely motivating everyone. So coming back to our topic, so Krishna and his devotees have a loving reciprocation. So, but to attain it, it's not an easy thing. We are especially for us. We are like Kaliga people, Praya and Payusha Jana, hello, Smith Yuga Jana, Manda Sunanda Madhya, Manda Bhagya Upad. We are unfortunate, lazy people, not interested. For such people, you want to give a highest thing, it is very, very difficult thing. But actually, to attain it, Prabhupada actually writes in some way like, a compassionate devotee will ask, what should be the social system? Social system that can help us to attain this. Now you see, if you are working in a corporate world is not so feasible, not so favorable for practice of Krishna consciousness, especially in attaining this goal. Srila Prabhupada started with this one, but it is not so favorable. So that's why this natural question comes. What is the social system which is required to help everyone to progress on this path of Krishna? So that's why the system is called Varnashrama system. In the Varnashrama system, one of the aspect is what? A ruler, aristocracy, a ruler, a strong ruler is required who under the guidance of Brahmanas have to guide everyone in this path of love of Krishna. If a ruler himself is not Krishna conscious, how can he drive everyone? That's why Prahlad Maharaj condemns this modern civilization. Anda itande upagiyamana devi shatantra urudami baddha. Is condemning this modern civilization that rulers are themselves are blind. A blind one taking a blind, what will happen? Blind will also fall into ditch. He will also make other followers also in ditch. So that's why to attain this goal, we need a proper social system because, still we have to take care of this body. That's why Varnashrama system is required. But in the Varnashrama system, the most important also aspect is a strong ruler, which is actually missing in this Kali Yuga. The rulers themselves are corrupt. The rulers themselves are polluted. How can they drive us to such a lofty goal? It's not, it's difficult. But at least our Prabhupada has that wish. Our devotees are also working. Eventually, by mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, it may manifest. Well, today we discuss what is the glories of this Parikshit Maharaj, who is a great emperor. Great emperor. So that's a great emperor. So this Suta Goswami was asked by Shaunakadi Rishis one question. What is this question? Abhimanyu Sutam Suta Prahur Bhagavatotamam Tasya Janma Mahascharyam Karmani Cha Grinihinaha. Mahascharyam. It's a, they are saying all wonderful. The birth and activities of Parikshit Maharaj are what? They're all wonderful. Mahascharyam. So if they are saying Mahascharyam means there must be something, they must be knowing a little bit about Parikshit Maharaj. That's why they must be feeling this Mahascharyam. Wonderful. So why Parikshit Maharaj birth and activities are wonderful? Just like we discussed, Janma Karma Chame Divyam. The Parikshit Maharaj also Janma Karma Divyam. For example, Parikshit Maharaj was protected by Lord himself in the womb, not an ordinary bird. Parikshit Maharaj chastised Kali, another great feat. We are subdued by Kali, and here is one personality who is actually killing Kali. He's about to kill Kali actually. So that's why Mahashaya. And also, and of course, his death itself is a glorious thing. No one has a notice. Maybe hardly 7 minutes, maybe notice will be there before dying. But Parikshit Maharaj has 7 days of notice. He has used it very wonderfully. So that's why his birth, his activities, they're all wonderful. That's why I mentioned Janma Karma Chame. His activities are also wonderful. That's why the Shaunakadi Rishis wanted to know about the activities of Parikshit Maharaj. Otherwise, why would they ask questions? Actually, this tendency here to hear about the glories of the people of this material world is innate in our consciousness. It is there. Everyone wants to hear something great about themselves or others. Like just we have seen Operation Sindoor. Entire India started glorifying this army, especially those two women who have done a wonderful, brave task. We don't know exactly what they have done, but everyone started glorifying. But it is, you see, this is the reason Krishna also comes. Why? To attract all the conditioned souls by his wonderful activities. That's why Prahlad Maharaj says, Naivo Vijay Paraduratyaya Vaitaranya Tadvirya Gayana Mahamrita Magna Chitta Tadvirya Gayana Mahamrita. Oh, Lord Narasimha, you leave me anywhere, I can be Krishna conscious. Why? I know the art of glorifying your brave activities. But Virya Gayana Mahamrita Magnachit, I can be Krishna conscious anywhere. But my worry is about these all the conditioned souls. But he's telling that he's glorifying Krishna's wonderful activities. By glorifying them, my chitta, Magna chitta, will be absorbed. You see that hearing tendency is there. That's why these Shaunakadi Rishis have asked this question to Suta Goswami to know about the greatness of Parikshit Maharaj and Mahashaya. They were all wonderful activities. So this is what we need to do in our life. We just have to take time instead of appreciating so-called people of this material world. Appreciate the Krishna and his devotee. That's what we need to do. You see, people, what do? They either hear so many things, nonsense things in the YouTube like this, be generally careful about not exposing my child to a phone. But when you travel in the train, what will happen? Everyone around us nowadays, this is a disease. Everyone, elderly man, young boy, adult, everyone, tick tick. So what do? Sometimes I saw that. What do? Is there anything useful they see in that? Nothing useful actually. So, and my child also starts saying like this after coming from that kind of thing. It's very difficult. But as we are practicing devotees, we just have to use that propensity to hear the glories of the Lord and His devotee. There is so much subject matter to hear about Krishna and his devotees. So, if you are not using this wonderful human form of life in hearing the glories of the Lord and His devotees, Rishabdev says, Parabhavastava Abodha Jata. It's a Parabhava. In Telugu also we call Parabhava. Parabhava means defeat. Defeat of the human form of life. If you are actually not using this human form of life in understanding my relationship with Krishna, everything else will be a defeat. Whatever we may do, everything else is useless if we are not doing this particular point. So, Prahlad, Parikshit Maharaj was confined within the womb, and Lord Himself protected him. So this is a wonderful thing that, every living entity, how he enters the body of a mother, karmana daivanetena jantu deho bhavate striya pravishtodaram pumsoreta kanashraya. A soul taking the shelter of a semen of a male, and then through that vehicle enters into the womb of a woman. So that's why this process is a very, very painful, because death, it's like no unconscious for 7 months. The living entity is like unconscious for 7 months. For 7 months, almost 6 to 7 months is unconscious. Only at the end of the 6th month, started experiencing that inconvenience. But we see in Parikshit Maharaj case, when he was within the womb of the mother, Uttara comes, Pahi Pahi Mahabahu, Deva Deva Jagatpate. She came running, asking to protect child Parikshit, because he is the only surviving ruler who can be ruler in the future. So that's why she is asking Krishna to protect. So as soon as Krishna heard, she is in front of the Pandavas, Krishna is in front of the Pandavas, but at the same time, what happened? He entered the womb of Parikshit Maharaj and then protected Parikshit Maharaj. And this scene, who observed? Parikshit. Parikshit, what is the size of a child? Very small. The size of a child within the womb is very small. So that's why Bhagavatam says the Krishna appeared in a size which that living entity can perceive. No, I cannot perceive a very big thing. Like, for example, in metro construction is happening. There are big, what is a machinery? I cannot see it, or I cannot perceive them. So that's why he said this is very interesting. Krishna wants to reciprocate with a living entity in a way that they can appreciate. So that's why what is the Bhagavatam is saying Angushta Matrena. Only the size of thumb, the Krishna appeared in the size of a thumb, which Parikshit Maharaj can appreciate. And he's observing. This Parikshit Maharaj is observing in the womb, which is a very inconvenient place, is observing that someone has come to protect me. Now people are glorifying about S-400 and all such missiles. But this Brahmastra, there's nothing parallel to Brahmastra. Once released, it's very difficult. Only Arjuna was once he has actually retrieved. But this time, there's no time for that. Now Krishna has to personally enter as Vishnu to protect. And how did he do? As a 400 form Vishnu, and he was rotating this that Gada. Then this entire scene, this child is observing. What a great fortune of hearing, like seeing personally the Lord and his wonderful activity, and how he is, just protecting him from that radiation of the Brahmastra. Just like some snow comes, sun rays fall, the snow will go away. Like that, he's using his gada and then he's protecting the child. Entire incident is observed by Parikshit Maharaj. In the what is the say in the way he can perceive. That's why his name is became Parikshit. As soon as he came out, he started seeing, is this the person who I have seen in my womb? Is this the person? Is this the person? Is this the person? He's checking everyone. He's comparing. No, he is not that person. He is not the person. He is not the person. That's why his name has become Parikshit, observer. He's observing very carefully everything. And this observing, another person is very fortunate is Prahlad Maharaj. But Parikshit Maharaj, uh, with this experiment of checking everyone, is this the person? What happened? He is in constant touch with the Lord in his by remembrance. Is in constant touch with the Lord. So we have so many rules and regulations in our Krishna consciousness. But what is that? What is that rule? To which every rule is subservient. You understood my question? We have so many rules and regulations in Krishna consciousness, but there is one rule to which every other rule is subservient. What is that rule? Anyone wants to answer? What is that rule which to which every other rule is subservient? Hmm? Attentive chanting. Any other answer? I will not give negative marks here. Huh? Always remember Krishna. Any other answer? What is your name, Prabhu? Huh? Sudeep Prabhu. Hari Bol. Smartavyo satatam Vishnu, Vismartavyo na jatuchit, Sarve vidhi nishedasyo, etayor eva kinkaraha. Kinkara means you say servant. He's saying all the rules are subservient to this one rule. What is that? Always remember Krishna and never forget Krishna. And this child, Parikshit, is very fortunate from his home itself. He is always remembering Krishna and never forgetting Krishna. This is what special blessing. That's why he is Mahascharya, wonderful, not an ordinary child. Not an ordinary child. Parikshit Maharaj from the womb. So this is what we also desire always remember Krishna, never forget Krishna. But what is actually mean by this? Right? We need some person who has demonstrated this principle. Right? Why we need senior devotees? Everyone needs some senior devotees so that I can see them and I can follow them. Because as I said, Krishna consciousness is not an imaginary thing. We need someone by seeing him, oh, like this we have to practice. So always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna, we can learn from Parikshit Maharaj. So that's why his name is Parikshit. And of course, he also saw the beautiful form of the Lord, which has a very, very wonderful description in this chapter that the Lord was enriched with 4 hands, earrings of molten gold, and eyes blood red with fury. And then like that, his beauty is described. So he wears, what is that? No, Kaustuba money, and then Vaijayanti Mala. So very beautiful description of the Lord is there. So we have a scriptural evidence for everything. So like that. So which one lesson we can learn from this entire pastime is devotees will never be vanquished. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Shipram Bhavati Dharmatma, Shashvat Chanti Nigachati, Kaunteya Pratijanihi Name Bhakta Pranashati. So why Krishna wants to protect his devotees? His love for devotees. He can go to any extent. Like no Lord Narasimha came. For what reason? To give pleasure to Prahlad Maharaj. So similarly, Lord comes to give protection. That's why he's saying, Name Bhakta Pranashati. So this is a very like no good promise of the Lord that Krishna asking, if you surrender to me, you need not to be fearful. I will protect you. I will protect you. But one can ask the question. Why did not Krishna protect him when Parikshit Maharaj got the curse? So that's why one condition is Krishna protects, but you should not put condition. What is the condition? Krishna protects living entity in his own way. At one instant, he protected his body, but at other instance, he has allowed the body to be destroyed. But he has glorified Parikshit Maharaj. Because of Parikshit Maharaj, Bhagavatam has descended. So, ultimately, Krishna protects one from on the platform of spirit. Bodily, whether he may protect, he may not protect, it's all his choice. But ultimately, he will protect the living entity from on the platform of the spirit soul. That is what he does. So that's why Krishna says, Sarva Dharman Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tvam Sarva Papepi Moksha Ishyami Masu. Do not fear. But We cannot ask the question, why Krishna like this only? I am going through a lot of struggle and pain in my life. Are you there? People ask this question. Is God there? Is Krishna there? But no, devotees will never ask. We don't see Pandavas asking such kind of question in Bhagavatam. The turbulence, the obstacles, the pain which Pandavas have gone through in their life, they have not even single time questioned Krishna. Why did you allow such kind of difficulties in life? Bhishma Pitamaha, just we have already completed Bhishma's prayer, is telling, Aho Bhagyam, Aho Bhagyam. This is not the verse. There's one verse, he says that, Yatra Yuya Nandana. So he's telling that what kind of difficulties you have gone, but Vipra Dharma Achyuta Ashraya. Because you have taken the shelter of Vipra Dharma and Achyuta, because of these three things, you have gone through the difficult, but an ordinary man cannot go through. So generally people come out of a difficulty. But if you go deep in the Krishna consciousness, a devotee is tested to the maximum possible extent by Krishna. That's why we don't tell this in the Gita course. If you tell in Gita course, you will be tested, they'll all run away. Of course, when Krishna also gives difficulty, Krishna also gives strength to overcome it. So that's how we see Krishna will always protect his devotees. There's no chance that Krishna will not protect you. So finally, Parikit Maharaj comes out of the womb, and entire constellation is very, very nicely situated. This shows that the soul is very, very special. Like you see, when Krishna appears, the constellation, the Rohini Nakshatra is there. So similarly, you see any great devotee. But when Hiranyakashipu appeared, what happened? Entire everywhere was blood. Jackals were shouting, crying. There are all inauspicious signs. So that means when such kind of inauspicious signs are there, that means some great demon appearing. So, but when constellation is so nice, Krishna or his devotee appeared. So Parikshit Maharaj constellation is also very, very nicely arranged, which shows that he's going to be a great devotee, a great ruler of the entire Jambudvipa. So like that. But this also we observed, which is also mentioned in this chapter, that when Krishna appeared, there is a ceremony called Jatakarma Samskara. There are samskaras. There are 16 kind of, many samskaras are there. Sometimes we talk about 10 samskaras, 16 samskaras. But all the samskara starts with Garbhadana Samskara. And then, like that, there are other samskaras. Seemantanayana Samskara. But as soon as the child takes birth, one of the samskara is called what? Jatakarma Samskara. Generally, before cutting the umbilical cord, they perform this samskara. So, but in the Kali Yuga, what happens as soon as the child takes birth, immediately umbilical cord is cut. So it's very difficult to perform this samskara, but still devotees do after coming to the home. But especially in this age is very difficult. But during Krishna's time also, during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time also, and we see during Parikshit Maharaj's time also, this ceremony is performed. In that ceremony, all the relatives will come, Brahmanas will come, and then what will happen? The Brahmanas, they are very expert in astrology. Based on the constellation, they will tell some predictions about the person. We have Kundali, but in this age, expert astrologers are not there. But during that time, it was there. They were there, and they have predicted about Parikshit Maharaj in a very, very nice way. All prediction they told at the time of birth only. Like even in the case of Prabhupada also, like no, even from Leelamrita also we study. Even in Prabhupada case also, when he appeared, it's like about him told he will become a great devotee and who will establish around 108 centers all across the world. The prediction came true. So that means it is not a fake science or imaginary science. The science works, and it exactly happened in the life of Parikshit Maharaj. Exactly the same thing happened. All the predictions, whatever. But one interesting thing in the samskaras is the father. Parikshit Maharaj's father is not there, but their grandfathers, what did they do? They have gave charity profusely. Land, cows, gold, horses, villages, cows, everything they have given. So at least what we should do, the takeaway for us is, we can also perform samskaras, but in that samskara we should give charity to the devotees, temple, cows, feeding the devotees, like that this should happen. Exactly may not be able to follow, but the principle can be followed. So charity, that's an auspicious moment for giving charity. We also have an ISKCON Whitefield temple coming up. We should never hesitate to give charity, and they have given charity like anything. So that's the description. Even Vasudev gave charity in mind because he was not able to give charity when he was in jail, but later he fulfilled that. So we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's father, everyone, Dashrath Maharaj, gave in charity. So when one is blessed with a child, that's an opportunity for giving charity. That's how they perform this celebration. And then the most important thing of this chapter is the qualities of Parikshit Maharaj. Like, every day we recite Namavam Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale, Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya. We recite this. But when we are reciting this has the glorification of Prabhupada. What Prabhupada has done in this month, in this world, that is actually in an embedded form. It is there in this prayer. What is that? Nirvishesha Shunyavadi. What is Nirvishesha means? What is Nirvishesha means? Shunyavad means what? Shunyavad. No God. Nirvishesha means? Shunyavad means no God. Nirvishesha means no form. Okay, any other answer? Huh? No importance to what? Who? God. Okay, no importance to God. Any other thing? Because we are reciting this prayer every day, and this has a glorification of Prabhupada. See, when we are glorifying a person, how do we glorify? For example, we take any person in this material world. Oh, he has done such kind of activity, this activity, that activity. He has given donation to such people. Food he distributed, clothes he has distributed, something like that. I'm just giving an example. You know? So we are glorifying Prabhupada. This prayer has that glorification. But what is that glorification is there in this prayer? So Prabhupada has done wonderful thing that, in the first one, Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta. I am offering my obeisances to Srila Prabhupada. But who is Prabhupada? Namaste Saraswati Deve is a disciple of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini. What he done? What he did? He has actually preached Gauravani. He is the one who is the commander in chief who came to spread Gauravani, the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Gauravani Pracharini. Now, Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarini. What did he do in the Paschatya Desha? Paschatya Desha means Western world. Tarini means he delivered Western world from what? These two. What are the two? Shunyavad and Nirvisheshavad. What is Shunyavad? Shunyavad is? So, Shunyavad means what? It's called voidism. Ultimately, everything is zero. Ultimately, everything is zero. After death, zero. This is actually Buddhism. And Nirvishesha. What Nirvisheshavad? Nirvisheshavad is Mayavad. So we need to understand how this word came. Vishesha means what? Vishesha means Sanskrit word has multiple meanings. Vishesha means variety. Nirvishesha means no variety. Vishesha means variety. Nirvishesha means no variety. That means Nirakar Brahmajyoti has no variety because it is a light, no form, no qualities. That's it. That's why Nirvisheshavad means what? Mayavad. So Prabhupada has saved the world from Mayavad and Shunyavad. So this is how we glorify Prabhupada. So we should know. So similarly, in this prayer, in this chapter, the glories of Parikshit Maharaj are given, the qualities of Parikshit Maharaj. So we will only discuss one or two qualities, and then we will proceed toward the closure. So, one of the quality of Parikshit Maharaj is that Brahmana who are telling, Brahmanas are telling to the grandfathers of Parikshit Maharaj. What are they telling? Partha Prajavita Sakshat Ikshvakuriva Manavaha Brahmanya Satya Sandascha Ramo Dasharati Ryata. You see, there is a comparison. What is Parikshit Maharaj live like? He's saying that this child be exactly like King Ikshvaku. You see, you have to tell there should be some comparison. So Parikshit Maharaj is like King Ikshvaku. What special King Ikshvaku has done? That also we don't know. But we need to know that. Then only we can appreciate Parikshit Maharaj. And what also true to his promise, when fulfilling the promise, is like Lord Ram. Fulfilling the promise is like Lord Ram. That means Parikshit Maharaj is compared to Ikshvaku in terms of what? In terms of maintaining everyone in the kingdom, and is compared to Lord Ram in terms of fulfilling the promise. So that means Ikshvaku must be very great. What Ikshvaku actually done in the Praja, the word Praja means what? Praja means any living entity who is living in the kingdom. Is not only human beings. He calls every living entity. So Ikshvaku has maintained everyone very carefully. So Prabhupada condemns in this shloka, in this series of shlokas, he condemns the modern civilization. Modern civilization, what everyone feels, we should protect only human beings. There should not be protection for anyone else, and they don't deserve protection. Of course, some people here and there they say protection of dogs, protection of cats, protection of these, that, but no one cares for entire living entities. But Ikshvaku was like that. So Prabhupada is condemning this in the modern society. The slaughterhouses are maintained, licenses are given. That means the protection is not given to all the living beings. So Parikshit Maharaj is like that in terms of giving protection, is like what? Is like in Ikshvaku. That's why when cow was about to be killed, Parikshit Maharaj about to kill Kali. That means he's very careful in protecting the living entity. In terms of fulfilling the promise, he's like Lord Ram. Lord Ram fulfilled the promise. He gave to Dashrath Maharaj, and he gave one big promise. What in Ramayana? Sakrideva Prapanyoyas Tavasmiti iti yachate abhayam sarvada tasmai dadamya etam vratam mama. The promise, the vow I have taken, anyone who surrenders to me, what I will do? I will give abhayam, fearlessness. And that's what, even though Vibhishana was enemy of the Lord, he came and then Lord gave shelter. So in terms of even Parikshit Maharaj gave shelter to Kali. Kali said, I am also your Praja. Now you should also give me some place for residence. Okay, Parikshit Maharaj said, all right. But you can stay in a place where four things are happening, there only you can stay. That's way we know. So that means he gives shelter. So this is one of the quality Parikshit Maharaj. Like no, about the quality of Parikshit Maharaj, the Brahmanas are telling, predicting predicting about Prahlad Maharaj to these grandfathers of Parikshit Maharaj. And then in terms of giving charity, Esha Data Sharanyascha Yata Hyasurina Shibhi Yasho Vitanita Swanam Daushante Riva Yajvanam. So in terms of charity, he is compared to what? Shibi. This Shibi is a very special person. He is a devotee of the Lord. Actually, this about Shibi in our Andhra Pradesh, we have learned about him in our childhood. Like I don't know in our school curriculum whether about Shibi is there or not nowadays. But in our childhood, we have learned about Shibi because when you hear about Shibi, you understand the greatness of a charity. What is the extent of charity one can go? We will hesitate to give some charity, but the Shibi has gone to that kind of extent in giving charity. That's why Parikshit Maharaj is compared to that person, Shibi, that devotee Shibi. In terms of giving charity, Parikshit Maharaj has that quality. If we have such a king, what will be the great fortune of the citizens? Obviously or not. If someone is so charitable, here we are worried all of the taxes are exploited. But here is a king who is very charitable. Don't you think such a wonderful aristocracy is actually condemned? But if you see Bhagavatam is glorifying aristocracy. The kings like Parikit Maharaj. If you have such a ruler, king like Parikit, our life will be so blissful even in terms of material platform actually. So that's how wonderful Parikshit Maharaj. So I will tell about Shibi. Shibi is actually, so what is the speciality about Shibi? There is a one eagle and a pigeon. Indra comes in the form of eagle and pigeon comes in the, Agni Dev comes in the form of pigeon. And then eagle is hunting the pigeon. And then what happens? Both of them reach this the place where Shibi was having that administrative discussions, and then Pigeon said, "Oh king, I am taking your shelter." You see, this is called king. King means anyone who comes and says, "I am taking your shelter." Okay, I will give you protection. King Shibi said, "Yes, I will give you protection." But what do you need? This eagle is attacking me. Eagle is attacking me. So then Shibi asked eagle. Of course, they were speaking also. Of course, it's special. So eagle said, "I want pigeon. You give my pigeon back." Then Shibi said, "No, no, I have given Abhayam, the fearlessness. I will give protection to thee." Okay, but I won't accept. But is there any alternative? Then Shibi said, like no, eagle asked, "Only if you give your flesh when you give, I will leave this pigeon." Then Shibi started cutting right thigh and then putting on one side and the eagle on the other side. Still did not come down that one. And then again, right side, entire full right side he gave. Still very heavy. It appeared that eagle is very heavy than this entire right side of the body. And still, and now Shibi, there's a tears came from the left eye. And the eagle saying, "I will not accept this kind of flesh where distress is there. I will not accept." No, no. Then Shibi said, actually, until now, this left eye is actually distressed. Why? My right eye is able to serve this, serve, but I could not get an opportunity to serve. So that's why now, when I got this opportunity, I am ecstasy and tears of joy are coming out. And then Shibi entirely sat on that, and then it came down, and then of course the identity of eagle and pigeon revealed. They were Indra and Agni. So they were very pleased with the Shibi, and this we have learnt in our school days. I don't know. You see, such a wonderful thing in previous generations. At least such kind of wonderful, stories and devotees of the Lord are there. Even in my social studies, I learned about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu a bit. But nowadays, I don't know. I have not seen the syllabus. The modern syllabus is only to it's like slaughterhouse education to kill the innate propensity of a living entity to glorify Krishna. The modern education takes the living entity away from Krishna consciousness. So that's why Prabhupada did not encourage. So, but we have to be very careful when we are sending our children to modern schools. Definitely, they are killed spiritually. So at home, we should do something. Otherwise, there's no hope actually. There's no hope. So, in terms of charity, Parikshit Maharaj is glorified like Shibi. So, like that, there are so many wonderful qualities of Parikshit Maharaj are glorified in this particular section of Bhagavatam. But one question comes. So, this question is, but how come Parikshit Maharaj got these qualities? If you know the trick, we will also get the qualities of Parikshit Maharaj. How he got these qualities, wonderful divine qualities? How did he get? Bhagavatam here is explained that because he is in constant touch with Krishna. What is that? Yasyasti bhakti bhagavata kinchana sarvai gunaitasya samasita sura harava bhaktasya kuto mahadguna manorate nasati dhavato bhavi. This is a very wonderful verse of Bhagavatam saying that how one can have a divine qualities of the Lord. Yasyasti bhakti Bhagavata Kinchana, Sarvai Gunai Tasya Samasita. When one performs a pure devotional service, Akinchana Bhakti, what will happen? One will get all the good qualities of Paraba Bhakta, Sura. All the demigods' wonderful qualities one will get. On the contrary, when one is not Krishna conscious, Manoratena asati davato bahi. Actually, the living entity travels on the vehicle of mind, so he will not get any good qualities. So this is what verdict of Bhagavatam. How much ever a person may be very good in the material world, first of all, he may not be good. Even if he's good, he cannot sustain the good qualities. Why? Because he's traveling on the chariot of the Manoratha. That's why he cannot. But on the contrary, a devotee will have all good qualities when he performing pure devotional service. Now the question comes whether now we are not performing pure devotional service, we are in the path of performing pure devotional service. Now whether we should wait or we should also cultivate. So this is a general question. So we hear that we should attempt to perform pure devotional service. At the same time, we should cultivate the qualities. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Prunadapi Sunichena Karurani Sahishna Amani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Bhagavad Gita says, Amanitvam, Adambitvam, Ahimsa, Kshanti, Rajam. So these good qualities we cultivate. But among all the good qualities, one good quality which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is recommending is Trinadapi Sunichena, humility. I am small, minute, Krishna is infinite. I am infinitesimal, Krishna is infinite. So infinitesimal should engage in the service of the Lord, glorify the infinite. If we actually do these two things together, then we can also get all the divine qualities, at least 76% or 78% of the Lord's qualities we can get. So this is a, we can also become a pure devotee, we will also have good qualities. But one point, this is the test of our devotional service. What is the test of our devotional service? Devotional service is science. Prabhupada has written science of self-realization. Devotional service is a science. How do we know we have progressing in Krishna consciousness? There are so many parameters, but one of the parameters is what? Are we getting good qualities within us? Are we manifesting good qualities? I am the same angry person before, I am same angry person now. That means there is a problem in my performing devotional service. Degree should be different at least. So if that transformation is not happening, there is a problem in our Krishna consciousness. I am lazy before, I am lazy now. I am procrastinating before, I am procrastinating now. So there should be some transformation of the qualities. I am not saying 100% will go away at one go, but there should be some transformation. If this is the test of devotional service, if we are not getting that qualities, there's a problem in our devotionals. And everyone, each one of us have to assess our own elevation in Krishna consciousness. Definitely other devotees are also there to help us, but God helps those who help themselves. So we should also try to assess ourselves, introspect, are we getting good qualities or not? So this is a very takeaway thing from this chapter, that are we also having good qualities or not? And of course, this chapter slowly ends with that how Parikit Maharaj, the death is glorious, how he will become an instrument in descending Bhagavatam to this material world. That's also predicted. You see, if you hear about the death of your child when he takes birth, what will happen? Very difficult to bear. And this is what happened with the Chitraketu, Harsha Shoka. The sages told this person will become cause of your distress also. They are thinking, no, fine. Maybe he will become naughty. He did not expect that his child will die. But here, the sages, Brahmanas are telling, your grandson will die by a curse at so and so point of time. But still, these grandfathers are hearing nicely. That means, you see, they are great devotees. They have transcended the death. They have transcended the death. And then this is how this chapter almost ends. And then, of course, it goes on with that how Yudhishthira Maharaj has performed 3 Ashwamedha Yajnas and then to glorify Krishna. That's how it goes. In short, the chapter is telling the glories of Parikshit Maharaj. How wonderful the system of Varnashram is when there is a ruler like Parikshit Maharaj, and this ruler is not elected by the Sudras. The ruler is selected. The ruler has wonderful qualities. Is not only having saintly qualities, is also chivalrous. So all these qualities made him a great ruler. So which is, we don't see such kind of ruler in the modern world. Prabhupada condemns saying that modern people, the modern rulers, they're so greedy, they don't want to leave the post until the death, and they're corrupt. Everything, like Prabhupada condemns about the democracy. So only in this book we see people like Prabhupada condemning democracy, but everyone appreciates democracy. At least we should know. So the special significance of this Varnashrama system in taking us to our goal of life, that is Prema Bhukanto Mahan, the love of Krishna. We need a practical system also where we can also do our duties peacefully and also progress in Krishna consciousness. And that system is Varnashrama system, which also has a ruler like Parikit Maharaj. When we have a ruler like Parikit Maharaj, what will happen? Our life is peaceful and happy while we stay in this material world, also to the next world. So this is a wonderful system. But now even practicing devotees go through a lot of stress, anxiety, because the entire system is mismanaged. So at least by appreciating Parikshit Maharaj, his kingly qualities, saintly qualities, and his relationship with Krishna, his wonderful dealings with Krishna, what will happen? Krishna may be pleased with us. Oh, this person is interested in my devotee and he may bless. So that's why we will end with this. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur is praying that Krishna, Gopinath, Mamani Vedana Sunu, Vishay Gojana, Sada Kamarata, Kichunahi Moradona. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is telling that I don't have any good qualities, my Lord Krishna. I don't have any good qualities. Huh? Mama Nivedana Suna, please hear my request. Vishaya Durjana, I am a wicked materialist. Vishaya Durjana Sada Kamarata, I am absorbed in lusty activities. Kichunahi Moraguna, I don't have any good quality, but I have one hope. What is that? Amara Varasatumi. I have the your lotus feet is actually my hope. I don't know. I don't know how will you purify, but I only have one hope that your Patita Pavana, my chanting, my reading, my hearing, I don't have any hope that by doing that I will be able to come to your lotus feet. But I have one hope. I will try doing all of them, but just with the hope that you will pull me by your own causeless mercy. This is a what quality of humility exhibited by Bhaktivinoda Thakur. If this mood we also cultivate while chanting, then we will also be able to fix our mind in chanting. Otherwise, mind will go here and there. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Okay, thank you so much. Any questions or comments? Yes, Prabhuji. Question. Yes, Prabhuji. Maybe you are like, no, Krishna says to the gopis, how can I repay your debt? Krishna tells to gopis that I cannot repay you, and your glorious activity itself is like a to your it's a payment to your activity. So you are asking question, maybe your question itself has answer. I don't know. Yes, Prabhuji. Please go ahead. Yes, Prabhuji. Please go ahead.
So you nicely explained. Thank you for the wonderful class. You explained about the need of a good devotee, how Lord is pleased with the nice. When we glorify the devotee, rather than glorifying him, and then you went on to describing about Parikshit Maharaj and his activities, his glories. So Parikshit Maharaj, you said that when he was born, still he remembered, okay, I saw one personality. Who is that? Who is that? Like that he is searching. Now, when I take birth, I not remember anything. Even after birth also, I will not be remembering. So he was a special personality, you said. So how do we keep constantly remembering? Because there is a lot of forgetfulness and we chanting, but still, although we are practicing, although I am practicing Krishna consciousness, still I forget. Okay, in my house there is a personality of God, supreme personality of God. I forget. I not remember. So how do I still remember?
So this is a very wonderful question because I said what is the topmost rule to which every rule is subservient. Smartavyo satatam Vishnu vismartavyo jatachit sarva nidhi nishedasya etayor eva kinkaraha. This is the subservient. All the rules and regulations are subservient. But how to remember Krishna, right? This is a great challenge for all the practicing devotees, definitely. But the solution is there in our scriptures. So one speciality about Krishna consciousness is what? That I need not to be present in front of the altar every time. Generally, that is the, especially Kanishtadikar is the beginning stage. Our mood is like that, that only if I be in front of the altar, in the front of the Lord, only doing that service, then I can be Krishna conscious. But Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita is telling that we can be Krishna conscious always. Actually, Prabhupada says, what is the difficulty? Prabhupada says, what is the difficulty? One can remember Krishna always. I'll give some example. For example, I'm going to office. This office is definitely, the modern way of office is not a very suitable way of Krishna consciousness. But still, I'm going to office working. I'm working in laptop. How can I be Krishna conscious while working? Right? I'm using my mobile. How can I be Krishna conscious? This laptop, what is it? Bhagavad Gita 7th chapter. What is that? Bhumirapo analo vayu kam ano buddhirevacha ahankara mitiyame vigna prakriti ashtada. I'm seeing my laptop, but I'm not saying laptop. I'm only seeing Bhagavad Gita words. I see this. I work for semiconductors only, wireless semiconductors. Because this is a semiconductor product, because I also know about the intricacies of the semiconductors. Ultimately, this entire laptop boiled down to what? One chip, and the chip is made up of silicon. You are from where semiconductors from? Okay. Semiconductors. It is based on silicon. What is the silicon? Silicon comes from sand. Sand is the energy of the, which is earth. So now you see, I am working in my office, but it is actually, I'm seeing working in laptop, but I'm not seeing my laptop. Actually, I'm seeing the energy of the Lord. And when you see at that level, you will also understand how electron and proton are also moving. Who has created this attraction between electron and proton? I have not created. Even though I'm working in semiconductors, I only know electron gets attracted to proton, but I have not. Modern science. Modern science is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So I'm working in the modern civilization, but we should know Bhagavad Gita is giving the mysteries of the working of the nature. An ordinary person cannot understand it, but a student of Bhagavad Gita, when he sees this, he sees how energy of the Lord is working, how the law of the Lord is working. This is about object. Now coming to the person. What Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita? Buddhir buddhimatamasmi. Krishna is saying, I am the intelligence behind the intelligent. So in office, definitely there are more intelligent people than me. I'm not the most intelligent. But generally people become envious by seeing the other person being intelligent. But a devotee, when he sees the intelligence, what happened? Wow! How Krishna has given his opulence, that intelligence in this person, because of which he is actually able to solve the most complicated problems. So what happened to devotee? He is remembering Krishna, is not becoming envious actually. So this is one of the practical thing that when we are working, similarly when I'm driving, the same logic can be applied to the, what I'm trying to say is, Prabhupada is saying, what is the difficulty? To remember Krishna and never forget Krishna is not a difficult thing, but provided we are trained in the message of Bhagavad Gita, we are trained in the message of Bhagavatam. That also requires some endeavor from our side. Bhagavatam says, Srinvata Shraddhaya Nityam Brunatascha Swacheshtitam. Swacheshtitam. There should be endeavor from our side. What is the endeavor? First of all, many are not attentive in hearing the class. A speaker can understand, right? My teacher used to scold like, hey, you are sleeping, go back. My teacher used to be like that. He's a professor actually, he's my professor. and he taught me this Bhagavad Gita. He used to really chastise like that. Because of that only, can't pakad ke, because of that we are like this here. So he used to tell, he used to make everyone on toes while hearing. But in ISKCON, like especially when we go to different centers, I don't tell like that. But I know who is hearing carefully, who is hearing attentively. First aspect is hearing attentively. Grinatascha swacheshtitam. First, hearing attentively. So then, if you don't hear attentively, how will you apply? First thing is hearing attentively. Second thing is what? Remembering what you heard. Third thing is what? What you remembered, how can I apply in my life? Fourth thing is, after applying, is there any course correction is required? In semiconductors, we have a PLL, phase locked loop, which is a closed loop system. When electronic voltage comes out, it also goes again to the in, so that we get a fixed frequency. I'm sorry, I'm talking some technical terminology, which is how we have to connect Krishna consciousness. I don't know, those of you from electronics background, you will be able to understand. But this is how closed loop system works. First thing is hearing attentively. Second thing is what? Remembering what we hear. Third thing is applying what we remembered. Fourth thing is taking a course correction what we are applying. And fifth thing is assessing whether it is coming out properly. This is called science. If you don't follow Bhagavad Gita as a science, what will happen? After some time, every day I am chanting only. Every day I am Bhagavatam reading only. What is those so special? But I am no transformation within me. In Krishna answers this question in Bhagavad Gita. Swabhavam adhyatmikam uchyate. What is adhyatmikata? Swabhav. Nature has to change. If nature is not changing, that means there's a problem in this. Starting from hearing and then till application. Bhagavad Gita is not like a physics book. I have learned so many physics laws, so many Buoyancy law, thermodynamics law, this law, that law. But when I am in distress, no law comes to my rescue. Is it or not? I am telling after studying all of them. It was so I was so mad about studying all these laws actually. You know, I'm telling being from IIT Kanpur, like no, we were so mad in solving all these equations actually. But later I understood after coming in touch with Bhagavad Gita, no law will come to rescue when I'm actually in distress. But Bhagavad Gita is not like physics book. Bhagavad Gita is actually manual of life. It is to be lived. It is to be experienced like that. When we actually do like that, then ya pashe sarvabhuteshu bhagavad bhavam atmanaha. Wherever I see, I only see Krishna. Stavar jangama deke na deke ishta murti. That will come. But what it requires? Endeavor. Endeavor starts with attentive hearing. So don't take Bhagavatam session lightly. This is what I wanted to convey. But starts with, you see, in bhakti also requires endeavor. If someone thinks that no endeavor is there, no, it won't work like that. But I'm saying this is a sweet endeavor. So sukham. One who starts relishing this process, he feels that there is nothing tasty thing in this material world. Swadu, pade, pade. Please go ahead. I want to hear more. Parikit Maharaj was telling like that. Sukdev Goswami confused. Means he got a doubt. Parikit Maharaj is not eating, drinking, sleeping. Let me give him some rest. Parikit Maharaj said, no. Sukdev Goswami, please go ahead. Don't think that I am tired because of not eating, drinking. Go ahead. Swadu, pade. Go on. So, this is what we want to also experience. The same taste which Parikshit Maharaj was experiencing in our life also. Prabhuji, hopefully, I tried to explain everything. But saying this is easy, but it's an individual responsibility now upon all of us. All of us, we have to put endeavor to take this to that level of application and experiencing. Okay? Hare Krishna. I think no more questions. Mataji's one question we can take. Then it's fair to any Matajis will ask question. Generally, I see Maharaj won't ask question. No problem. I hope all of you understood. Hare, you have one question, Prabhu? Last question, Prabhu. Yes.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful session. So my question is, in this current world, where we know that kings who are corrupt, like, they are mostly in self-glorification, and we don't have kings like Radha Parikshit we have. So what's the role of the devotee over here? Like, how can we make this make this place as it was as it used to be earlier? So what's the role of the devotee?
Yeah, very nice question, Prabhu. So, Krishna consciousness is only like exclusively spirituality, but Prabhupada also wanted to establish this Varnashrama system, the society, how administration should work. But Prabhupada has also told many places in different purports. So he has also given many ideas. Prabhupada said toward the end of Prabhupada said toward the end of his departure, he said that, like, no, one thing I wanted to do is this Varnashrama system. Of course, if Prabhupada would have done, our life would have been more blissful. I really feel like that. But Prabhupada has left that service to the devotees. I see within ISKCON, devotees are working. But when it will reach that stage, when the system of what Varnashrama system at the time of Parikit Maharaj. But it is very difficult to re-establish everything. But some portion of it will definitely come back. And ISKCON, we have that ministry also. Devotees are working. And definitely what we can do, one thing we can do is reduce in our state, reduce our dependency on the modern way of life. Less. For example, if I'm using something, so tomorrow I should plan to reduce my. This is called unnecessary necessities. At least we should live in such a way, in a very simple way, where we don't have to depend so much on modern civilization. What is Varnashrama system? It has a dependence on the nature. Krishna's design system. Basically, living life based on the Krishna's design. But the way we are living is more and more dependent on the humans designed system, which has a flaw. So the more we go close to the nature, the more what will happen? The more we also come closer to the Krishna design system, and eventually our senior devotees in our community, they will guide us. But this is one thing which we can take in our life immediately, as much as possible. Live close to the nature. Okay, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Satchidananda Prabhu, for enlightening us today on the 12th chapter of first canto, Srimad Bhagavatam. So, for the devotees who have missed the introduction of Prabhuji, I am going to say it once again. So, basically, Satchidananda Prabhu has completed his MTech in electrical engineering from IIT Kanpur. He has been practicing Krishna consciousness for more than 50 years, serving full time in Bhaktivedanta. He served full time in Bhaktivedanta Gurukul Vrindavan and ISKCON Dehradun for 3 years in different capacities. He is currently working at Synaptic Bangalore. Previously, he has worked in MNCs like Qualcomm, Marvell, etc. He is currently serving as a circle servant at IBC AECS under ISKCON Whitefield, Bangalore. He is one of the active mentors under the Learn Gita Live Gita initiative. He also takes regular Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam sessions in different forums, both online and offline. So let us thank Prabhuji for coming here, giving us his time and enlightening us by loudly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra and praying for his spiritual advancement. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So thanking all of you for coming on this